everyone, I'm just sitting out here doing a bit of a talk about what's going on. So I was symptomatic yesterday a little bit, as in had a bit of a sore throat, nothing too major, and started on my flu remedies right away. Today I'm not feeling too bad at all, a little bit of a scratchy throat I guess, but not terrible. This is round 2 for me, so the first round was nearly 2 years ago, and this is now the second time, and I'm quite okay with it all because it's educating my immune system, and so that I won't catch it later on in the year. And my immune system is affected by osteopetrosis because there's not as many white blood cells being created. So I am susceptible to catch things. I have been treating people with the virus for since it started basically, and it just so happened that both times I've caught this virus has been from someone who's, you know what that means, yeah. And I'm not this, right? just so you know, right? Because YouTube, they get a bit funny about this. So you get the gist of what I'm trying to say there. So yes, I am technically symptomatic. It's not really affecting me that much. You can probably hear in my voice that it's a little bit scratchy. That's about it at this stage. I'm now in day 2. I have been doing my home remedies, and I will post a clip of that in a minute. And that's about it really. There's not much else. I mean, you can take Panadol and all that sort of thing. I don't have a temperature. I don't have anything really. This is just round 2 is nothing on round 1. I mean, round 1 was pretty horrible for 3 days or so. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the flu, but it was worse than this. But this is round 2. I don't really have a cough. Every now and then I have a little bit of a cough to try and clear my throat, but apart from that I don't really have one. I don't feel terrible. I'm sitting out in the sun at the moment because vitamin D is amazing, and the fresh air and all that kind of jazz is really, really good for any kind of flu thing. And just eating protein pacing basically, because my cells and all that sort of stuff need to recover from being attacked. Making sure I'm taking my adaptogen herbs and all that sort of immune strengthening herbs, all that kind of stuff. My nose, I can breathe through it fine. My taste and smell have not changed. I am staying away from people just because, it's common courtesy. I do it with a flu or a cold or anything. If I'm sick, I just stay home and wait to get better. And my husband's fine. He's not symptomatic at all. He'll probably not get it because he does have a pretty good immune system. A lot better than mine. He doesn't have osteopetrosis, so that helps. So he will probably be fine. And I'm not, because I'm not very symptomatic, it's unlikely that I'll spread it very much anyway, because I'm not coughing. I'm not, it's not coming out of me like it does with other people that get quite congested and all that sort of thing. So there's not a lot of droplets coming out of me, so therefore the spread is pretty limited. I mean, it's not, he may get it, but yeah, it's pretty, he's fine at the moment. He may get it in a few days or whatever, but it's really not that strong. This variant, whatever it is, I don't know what we're up to. I don't really pay attention to any of that anymore, but whatever this one is, it's pretty mild, in my case anyway. Who knows? I mean, tonight's probably going to be the worst of it because it's always the second night's usually the worst. But at the moment, I'm feeling fine. I don't even really feel that tired like I did last time. It's just basically a little bit of a sore throat nothing in the chest, nothing in the nose as yet. There probably will be a stuffy nose towards the end of it, because that's normally what happens to me with colds, but that's about it. So I'll switch now to that clip of me making stuff for this virus for family that I was actually treating, and that's how I caught it, because they were, and they were quite, they were coughing and, all that sort of stuff. So there was a lot of droplets around, and I don't care. I don't, I'm glad I've got it again, because it helps educate my immune system and keep it strong and keep it working. And it's actually good to get sick every now and then, because it makes your immune system wake up, and it starts to attack things like cancer cells and things like that it may have just kind of let slide because it was just getting a bit weak or a bit old. And if you don't get sick ever, it's actually a sign that you might have an autoimmune condition. I do have an autoimmune condition. I have psoriasis, which is autoimmune, and arthritis as well, which is autoimmune as well. And but I do tend to get, the odd sniffle or whatever, probably every 2 years, sometimes every year, just depends on what's going on. But I'm okay with that, because it means that my immune system is working. So the reason that you get symptoms, I'm sorry, that wind is really strong. The reason that you get symptoms of anything that you catch is because your immune system is working. So it's trying to get rid of that microbe that's invaded your system. And if you are actually not getting any symptoms, you're not getting sick, you might have been exposed to all these things, but you don't actually get sick, it can be because the immune system's too busy attacking your own cells that it's preoccupied and just not paying attention. And then you've got all these viruses and microbes and stuff, bad bacteria and all that kind of fungal infections and all that kind of stuff floating around in your body that your immune system is ignoring, and it only becomes a massive problem when you get an infection. And that can actually kill you pretty quickly, because you can go septic without actually realizing that there's something wrong. So I actually don't mind being a little bit unwell every now and then. I'd much rather a respiratory thing than a gut virus, because gut viruses tend to like to hang around in my system, so thankfully I don't get many of them. But a respiratory thing, it's, is what it is. And I should be over it by the end of the week, sort of thing. So there's the helicopter again. It's been flying constantly in and out of the hospital over the last 6 months probably. There's at least one helicopter a day, usually 2. So that's a bit of a worry that there's so many people, but also that are needing transfer to Brisbane or Toowoomba. But also the hospital has greatly reduced its capacity. I'm not sure why that is, but they now don't have the private rooms that they did have. And they've got rid of quite a few of their rooms. The rooms are still there, but there's no beds or anything in them. And I think the capacity is really, really low now. So that's why the helicopter's always flying people out, because if they need, added care, or they need to stay in hospital for an extended period, then they need to go somewhere else, because there's not enough beds in Stanthorpe Hospital. It's not that they don't have enough beds, because they actually taken the beds out of the rooms that were in there. And I know this because I was in hospital with my broken bones when I fell off that horse just before COVID, before all this craziness. So 2019, the end of 2019, I was in hospital, and there was plenty of beds. There was no problem at all, and plenty of wards and plenty of rooms and all that kind of thing. And I went in at the start of last year, because last year is now 2023, and the hospital, there was no beds in there really. There was just emergency, and that was it. There was no real wards or anything like that, so that's why that is. Anyway, let's go to that clip. Famous cold and flu pack. There's the honey gel that's doing its thing at the moment. It'll turn into a bit of a gel in a couple of hours. We've got our elderberry syrup and colloidal silver there. The elderberry syrup has
some other herbs in it that help with different symptoms. I tailor make that to whatever the symptoms are. The honey gel is just honey and onion, or honey and garlic if onion isn't tolerated in my case. And the little silver over the back there.